have a Century Agenda goal to become the cleanest, greenest port in North America. We also have goals around habitat restoration. We're interested in learning more about how we can create conditions in which kelp can thrive.
Kelp is really the manna of the sea. It provides numerous services that enable fish and wildlife to thrive. Elliott Bay is ringed with kelp. Not continuously, but there are certain chunks of the waterfront that have these mats of kelp forest. This is an area of urban kelp habitat.
What we're seeing are kind of more substantial kelp beds in the north part of Elliott Bay, and then patchier, smaller kelp beds further south.
The genus of this species is Nereocystis, which means mermaid's bladder, and that's what keeps it floating at the surface. So you can see the fronds are rather like the hair of the mermaid, and it's really quite a beautiful sight, but it's also remarkable. It can grow 100 feet in a season, like a foot a day. These are kelp forests, just like trees in the woods. These forests allow for not only plants and animals to survive around them, but also can sequester carbon. And we have a strategic relationship now with the Seattle Aquarium to see why it grows in some places and not others, and taking those lessons and applying it to our habitat restoration efforts.
We're experimenting and trying to learn more about how to restore not only kelp, but also eelgrass beds and oyster beds, which are all keystone kind of habitats here in Puget Sound. We are in front of the breakwater at Elliott Bay Marina, and there's an extensive kelp bed that runs along the entire breakwater here. And today looks like a pretty good day to see what these kelp beds look like here. Part of our partnership with the Seattle Aquarium, we are using an underwater remotely operated vehicle.
ROV Nerio, short for Nereocystis. And we do indeed use an Xbox game controller to fly the vehicle. That's good. And we have cameras facing downwards and a camera facing forwards, and we have lights and various sensor equipment. And our objective is to gather as much video as possible. So we're conducting what's called benthic surveys. So we're looking to gather information about what species are present and where they are and what types of substrate they associate with. So conducting about 100-meter transects.
Gain is 30%.
You see all sorts of cobble, hard substrate. We are 39.2 feet beneath the surface.
What we see out there is, these really rich and vibrant kelp beds. There is a lot of understory algal species as well.
Oh, and a nice lingcod right down there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You can go take a peek.
We're able to see that, and we're also able to see this bull kelp canopy.
We've seen large bull kelp declines in parts of Puget Sound. And our overarching objective is to better understand what types of substrate bull kelp attach to and grow on. So what we're doing for this project is training AI algorithms to know what species are. So this is a sea star, this is a sea urchin, this is a fish.
Like acrobats down there.
Yep. So one of the hypotheses for why bull kelp doesn't do well in certain areas, there's some preliminary observational evidence that kelp crabs may be contributing to bull kelp failure to thrive, essentially.
So that has led to another initiative that we're hoping to implement in 2023, and that's to place octopus pots, octopus homes, to attract octopus to Smith Cove, and they eat the kelp crab, and we're hoping that that might help the population of kelp.
And this is all part of what the port sees as part of its responsibility to be a steward of the environment that we do business in. And I think this is good for the habitat, but also those of us that depend on a healthy Puget Sound.
Getting myself into a hot mess of kelp.
And so what we're hoping to get out of this partnership is just really understanding why kelp are living where they are and what conditions they're thriving under, and so potentially we can replicate those in future restoration projects.
That's the most tangled we've been.
We are just getting a clue at the beginning of how important this species is to the recovery of the Salish Sea at large.
Watch CityStream Tuesday nights at 7 on the Seattle channel, or find us anytime online at seattle.gov.